Today I wanted to do a follow-up video on the last video that I made where I opened a mystery box of VHSs that I didn't expect to get delivered so early, but it was. So I went through the 18 titles, and in my last video I noticed right away that a couple of them had mold, so I knew that I needed to check them more carefully. I talked about when I go to test them out, I'll take a look at them and make sure that they're okay. So I did have a chance to go through all of them. I wanted to share with you kind of what that looks like, some physical media care stuff. I'm gonna take one of these apart to show you and to talk a little bit about the mold that can get into VHS tapes. So let's get into it. What's up, physical media fans? I have the 6 titles that ended up having mold in them from that VHS lot that I opened in my last video. I wanted to kind of go through and show you and talk about the phenomenon a little bit, but I wanted to show you the mold that can get into these and what it looks like. So I'll do a couple of edits, some cuts, and show you some pictures and some video of the mold. I'm going to break one of these apart, or take one of them apart to show you that it can get right in there, and that there are some ways of cleaning these things, but I would not recommend it. And I'll tell you why as we go. So I am going to wear gloves. It's probably not necessary. The mold that gets into VHS tapes is very common in households. It can get into things that are moist, slightly damp, like higher humidity areas. Basements are kind of notorious for that, especially in the Midwest here, where we have basements and we have rain and we have snow, and basements can get a little damp, but that happens to be a place where a lot of folks have their rec rooms, their TV rooms, and so on and so forth. So if they have old VHSs sitting around and it is high humidity in the area, there's a chance that you can get this mold in your VHS tapes. The species of mold is a cladosporium species that, like I said, is very common in households. It's just not usually given enough time and moisture to proliferate, to grow on things. But in this case, these tapes have probably been sitting around for a long time, and the spools of magnetic tape in there create a nice little environment for moisture to be held, and then for these spores to get into the tapes and then grow from there. If you didn't know, mold is kind of a generic term for a fuzzy fungus. There are a lot of different kinds of mold. If you've heard of black mold in your household, that's a bad one. You definitely don't want that in your house, and it can make you sick. But in this case, this is a very common mold that is just in the air. It's on surfaces and stuff in your house, but it's usually innocuous. It usually is harmless. So I wanted to talk about the 6 titles that had mold. You might be able to see the titles here. Flo's with me today. It's just too bad. I mentioned The Howling is fun, but this one has just a little bit of mold. There are little speckles in there, and that's how it starts. That's how you can see. So at this point, if you were married to the title that you have on VHS, you can clean. It's possible. You just want to be very careful. Use an alcohol, like probably a 91% alcohol that evaporates very quickly on the tape here. Now, the challenge is with VHS tapes, if you didn't know, there's a little tab here. You can open this up to expose the tape, and you're not really going to see it on this straight flat tape that goes through the VCR heads to play the image and the sound and so on and so forth. The reason being is in the spools where it's, you know, tightly wound, layer upon layer, it creates, you know, a ridged surface with a lot of places where moisture can get trapped, and then those spores can land there, and they can grow. Now I say land there, but it seems weird that this is an enclosed system, it seems like, but it really isn't. So if you pop this open, you see there are openings into the body of the VHS tape, quite a few, and even the spools on the back, you know, they are not sealed. It's not airtight or anything. So these have some movement, some give, so that they're not rigid when you put them into the machine, because if they're not perfectly aligned, if it's rigid, it's gonna mess up your tape or your tape heads in your machine. So you don't want that. So they do have a little give, and that means there's room for air and for microscopic mold spores to get in there. I'm not trying to scare anybody. Like I said, this is super common mold. It is harmless in most cases, but it can grow. And the reason that I'm not going to keep these, I opened up a return on them. The seller said that, you know, they'll just refund me and I can do what I want with these tapes. And I'm going to throw them out. I mean, they came from the same lot. They may have been played in the same machine, and here's why you don't want to play those. If you play a moldy tape in your machine, that leaves mold and mold spores in your machine. The next tape you play in there is going to get some mold spores in it. So if your tape doesn't look like it has mold, it can still have those mold spores. They're microscopic, like I said, so you can't really just see them. You're not going to be able to look. And if it's moist enough in your house, which it seems like in somebody's house it was, then those mold spores can grow and create that visible mold that you see. Like I said, on this one, I see it. It's mild. It's not too bad, but I am not going to mess with it. So to take a VHS tape apart, you need a screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver, so the plus on that end. That's pretty small. These screws are very small, but not like specialty screwdriver size. I just want to show you mostly how this can happen and what it looks like on the inside of a tape. Even though you can kind of see through the window, I wanted to show you. Those 4 or 5 screws, I can't remember. Uh-oh, there we go. I thought that was stripped, it's not. Yeah, it's just, oh no, there's one more. There's 5 screws. Okay, so 5 tiny screws. You can take off this little flap. It's a matter of pushing that tab in to open it, and then pulling the, oh, that one's, oh, these you cannot pull out. They have, they probably have a little ridge that prevents them from being pulled directly out. All right, this has stickers on the side, so I'm gonna have to cut through these. Maybe I can do it with the screwdriver. Yeah, it looks like it. Otherwise, I can go get my pocket knife. Even though it's a pocket knife, I don't really carry it around. I just have it for opening packages by the front door. Here we go. It's sticking to my gloves. And I tore my glove a little bit, so I'll be careful. All right, here we go. We're getting there. Let those screws fall out. Open this. There we go. All right. Should have just gone to get my pocket knife, but I didn't. All right. A screw? No, it's coming out. these, there we go. There's a little click-in point of contact there, but I want to pull these out. This is the important part. Let that up off of the, there we go. So these little spools in there, if you are trying to clean, you want to keep track of all that stuff, but I am going to throw these away like I mentioned. But these reels, it's a reel-to-reel system enclosed in the VHS tape. Obviously, spool the tape around, like I said, layer after layer. You could see all these little dots in there. This one isn't terrible, like I said. I'll show you some other ones that are pretty bad. But especially right around in the spool, you can see the mold. And I'll do a closer picture of that. But if you were to clean it, it would involve having your alcohol and a microfiber cloth or some cotton or something. Cotton might not be great because it might leave fibers, but you would have to go through this whole thing. So maybe set up some kind of system where you have a buddy, somebody's winding one end and you're holding the cloth with the alcohol on it and rubbing it along that magnetic tape to get rid of the mold. Like I said, I do not recommend it, but if you have something that is precious to you, if it's your wedding video or something, you might want to try to fix your tapes. But I'm going to show you some of the other ones that are worse. This Valentine tape is worse. I'll get some close-up shots of these so you can see it. Salem's Lot is really bad. I think I mentioned that when I was going through them. So it's got quite a bit of mold in the spool. Both of them, one is worse than the other. Shocker. It's too bad because some of these are really fun. Oh yeah, this was the tight bit here. There we go. Some of these are really fun movies. Shocker from Wes Craven is a lot of fun, but it has quite a bit of mold inside of the tape, so I don't want to mess with that. And like I said, I'm being overly cautious. It's really not that big a deal. I'm going to wash my hands after this, but I thought I'd wear gloves anyway. This Demon Lover that I mentioned, I don't really know anything about, that has Chloe Sevigny and Gina Gershon, along with a couple of people I don't know, has some mold in it. And then finally, Interview with the Vampire was the worst, with a ton of mold in it. You can probably see that just from where you are without the close-up, but I will do some close-ups. So we don't want mold. We don't want mold in our tapes. We prefer not to have it in our house, but it's a natural thing. It's not that big a deal, as long as it's not growing to questionable sizes. But that is it. I just wanted to show you kind of that update and what was going on with those tapes after I mentioned that I had mold in them. They are not going to be in my eBay store, but I will put the link down below if you're looking for some physical media and you want to check out what I have on offer. I just listed a lot of those Nintendo games, the original Nintendo cartridges, and by a lot, I mean about 55 of the 68, maybe I'm up to 60, but quite a few of them, and I'll finish out the rest of them today. But that is it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you're feeling generous, but you'll see me when I post next time. Thanks.